श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः। हरि ओम। ओम सहनावतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ओम शांति शांति शांति. So yesterday we were seeing ज्ञानेन तदज्ञानं येषां नाशितम् आत्मनः तेषाम् आदित्यवत् ज्ञानं प्रकाशयति तत्परम्. Through the knowledge for whom the ignorance is removed through the knowledge, the ignorance of the self is removed through the knowledge. For them, the knowledge illumines the absolute like the sun. The sun is given as an example to show the sun does not depend on anything for illumining or removing the darkness, illumining the world or removing the darkness. Similarly, this knowledge is not dependent upon anything to remove the ignorance. That is why he says sahakarya. So utpatti matrena sahakaryantra nirapekshitaya sakaryamajnanam nivartayat. The knowledge removes the ignorance along with its effects without depending upon anything else, like the sun. Iti. Okay. Atra. Next. Atra. Ajnanena avratam jnanena nashitam iti. Ajnanasya avaranatva jnana nashyatvaabhyam jnana abhava rupatvam vyavartitam. This is a very important topic again. See, these are all secrets of Vedanta. Normally when we study Vedanta, we know ignorance is removed by knowledge. And what is ignorance, how it came into existence, how this world came into existence, etc. Panchikarana, apanchikarana, all that stupid stories we will present and we will elaborate it. Now, for people who know till that, for them, this is a new information. It is an information, it is not a knowledge yet. Only after knowing this, understanding it clearly, after the explanation, it will become your knowledge. But now it is an information. What does he say? Atra ajnanena avrutam jnanena nashitam. This which is veiled by the ignorance, that which is destroyed by the knowledge, with these two words in the statement jnanena tadajnanam yesham nashitam. So earlier he said ajnanena avrutam jnanam. Now here jnanam nashitam atmanah jnanena nashitam atmanah ajnanam, like that here it is said. So correlating both these statements, he is saying ekavakyata. This is what is called as ekavakyata, correlating, synchronizing two statements. He says with this iti ajnanasya avaranatva jnana nashyatvaabhyam. What we are establishing is ajnana is that which has the capacity, I am not saying the power, capacity to veil, and it is something which is destroyed through the knowledge. Okay, that is destroyed through the knowledge. Okay, now jnana abhava rupatvam vyavartitam. With these two words, that it veils and it gets destroyed. Ignorance veils and ignorance gets destroyed. With these two words, the ignorance is established to be different from the absence. I have explained it. Still, it does not become knowledge. Let me explain. I show my hand, and in my hand I say there is a pot, absence of pot. Do you see the absence of pot? If you say, I saw the absence of pot, you are right as well as wrong. You are both right and wrong. Why? Because you are seeing the absence of pot in my hand. A, you are right, therefore. B, you are wrong at the same time because you cannot see the absence. You are seeing my blank hand, empty hand, without any object. Therefore, you say there is absence of whatever I am saying. So, the absence does not cover or veil my hand. The absence exists without veiling the hand, covering the hand or covering the substratum. So, when I said avartam, it veils, immediately you can understand, see, there is a paper and I am covering my hand. Now, the paper has covered my hand. Now, this paper is not something which is absence. You get it? So, the paper is not something which is absence. But the pot which I said, it is definitely absence because it is not covering, veiling my hand. This is one thing. And the second thing is, it is removed by knowledge. Ajnana is referred to, this is a definition. He is establishing definition for ignorance. The definition for ignorance is bhavarupatve sati jnana nivartyatvam. Bhavarupatve sati jnana nivartyatvam. Being sati, being something which has existence, that which is negated through knowledge is ignorance. So both these bhavarupatve sati jnana nivartyatvam, avartam nashitam, with these two words, both of them are established. So here it is differentiated from the absence. Why do you want to establish this? Because see, Dharmaraja Advarindra, the author of the famous Vedanta Paribhasha text, the epistemology of Vedanta. Okay, so he establishes the ignorance to be not only he is accepting the something which is in the tradition. So he says this ignorance is bhava rupa jnana nivartya. Whereas his own son Ramakrishna Advarindra, his name is Ramakrishna Advarindra, Dharmaraja Advarindra's son, condemns his father's teaching. This is the freedom. My father said, therefore that should be wrong, right? So no, there is another school which says the ignorance is of the nature of absence. So he takes that school. The problem is, so what you said, there is no need to negate absence. If it is existence, you need to negate it. It cannot be negated. When we say the existence, we mean that it is different from non-existence. That is what the idea is. Like Vedantic statement, Taittiriya Upanishad, Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma Yo Veda Nihitam Guhayam Parame Vyoman. Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma. What is Brahman? Satyam Jnanam Anantam. Brahman is existence, knowledge, bliss. And here this Acharya will say in Brahma Sutra, in Taittiriya Upanishad, Bhagavan Bhashyakara very clearly says Ananta is Ananda, Ananda is Ananta, with reference to the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad statement. Yo Bhuma Tad Vaisukhamal Vaisukhamasti. So if I gain the Brahman, I will be in bliss. This is a stupid idea. If you gain Brahman, don't expect any experience. If you have an experience, you have not gained anything. If you don't have any, your inherent way of experience is in the realm of a duality. In non-duality, there can be no experience. Drive it into your head. Make it clear. Make sure that you understand this. Okay, so that which is nature of Brahman. Okay, now he says that Brahman. Why did we bring in that Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma? Because in Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma, while discussing Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma, the Shruti very clearly says, what is Satyam? This is not who I am. I who is saying this. Bhashakara very clearly establishes this. What is Satyam? What is Ananda? What is Ananda? Are to establish it is different from non-existence. Satyam is used. Jnanam, knowledge. To establish it is different from ignorance, we say knowledge. Anandam, we say bliss. To establish it is different from sorrow. So that is it. Similarly here, when we say bhava rupa, when we say it is of the nature of existence, we differentiate it from the non-existence. Not really saying, we don't really say that it is existence. We know, because if it is existence, it cannot be negated. One existence cannot be replaced with another existence. So, nahi abhavah kinchit avranoti. The absence does not cover, veil anything. Nava jnana bhavah jnane nashyate. And the absence of knowledge, that cannot be negated by knowledge. Absence of knowledge cannot be negated by knowledge. Because that is absence. Knowledge, which is of the nature of absence, cannot be negated by knowledge. Swabhavata nasha rupatvatasya, because inherently it is of the nature of absence. Absence cannot be made into absence by knowledge. Negation means making it absent. So that cannot be made by knowledge because it is of the inherent nature of absence, which the ignorance. So ignorance cannot be made into absence because it is of the nature of absence, and ignorance cannot veil anything because it is of the nature of absence. Absence cannot veil anything, cover anything. Tasmat, therefore, aham ajnah mamanyam cha na janami ityadi sakshi pratyaksha siddham bhava rupat eva ajnanamiti bhagavato matam. Therefore, aham ajnah, I am ignorant. Mam anyam cha na janami, I don't know myself or others. In these statements, I am ignorant. How do you know you are ignorant? You know you are ignorant. Therefore, there is a knowledge of ignorance. This is not the knowledge gained through inquiry. This is a knowledge gained through the sakshi. Sakshi pratyaksha. The witness principle. Until there is sakshya, there is sakshi. Until there is something to be witnessed, there is this witness principle. Therefore, they are coexistent. Object, witness. No object, no witness. Okay, so iti bhavarup meva ajnanamiti. Therefore, ajnana, this ignorance, is of the nature of existence, different from non-existence. That is what Bhagavan accepts. That is Bhagavan's philosophy. Vistarataha advedisitho advedisiddho drashtavya. If you want to understand it deeply in more elaborate way, you have to study Advaita-siddhi. Yeshamiti bahuvachanena aniyamo darshitah. Yesham, whoever, those who, that means whoever it may be. With this Yesham word, he is explaining there is no rule that only this kind of person, only that kind of person can gain this knowledge. No. Anyone can gain this. How do you know this? Tatacha Shruti. The Shruti says. What does the Shruti say? Tat yo yo devanam pratyabudhyata sa eva tadभवत tatarshīnām tasā manushyanām tat idam apyetarhi ya evam veda aham brahmasmi iti sat idam sarvam bhavati ityādi. इत्यादि यद् विषयं यदाश्रयम् अज्ञानं तद्विषय तदाश्रय प्रमाणज्ञानात् तन्निवृत्तिरिति न्यायप्राप्तं नियमं दर्शयति. Beautiful statement. This is very important statement. This is also another subtle teaching of Vedanta, which we saw in the beginning. In the beginning, he said, "Anartha vyartha moolam ajnanam atma ashraya vishayam." That is what he is explaining here. Tatha acha shruti. The shruti, what does it say? Tat yo yo devanam. Yo yo devanam. Whoever it may be among the deities, pratyabhyata, one who understands this. Sa eva tadabhavat. They become that very object. Similarly, whoever among the rishis understand, they also become that very self. And what about me, human being? Tatha manushyanam. Whoever among the humans, whoever understand it, so they become that self. So it stops with human beings, because manushya-dhikaratvat shastrasya. The shastra is limited to the human, because only human intellect can these things. An inquiry is not possible by a donkey, by a dog, by a cow, or even holy cow. It is not possible for that to perform this inquiry. Therefore, because Shravana Manana, this knowledge can be gained only through Pramana. Guru Upadishta Vedanta Mahavakya Janya. And that knowledge can be gained only through the Mahavakya gained through the Guru. That is why the Shravana, the Shrotrindriya is the important thing. So you have to listen it from the Guru. Only then you will be able to understand it. So he says, Tatha Manushyana, whoever it may be in Manushas. So the great people, the released ones, they can bless these beings to take a better equipped birth. Tatha Rishinam api etarhi ya evam veda. Whoever it may be, who understands it to be so. So how? Aham brahmasmi iti, I am that self. Whoever understands it to be so, sa idam sarvam bhavati, he becomes all this. Now, this is another pet topic of me, for me. So he becomes all this. Don't expect, because these half-baked idiots, they always want these kind of experiences. Spiritual experiences, or some accomplishments, spiritual accomplishments. These are not spiritual. There is nothing spiritual in it. This, you know, that sannyasi, that Swami, he was seen here, he was seen there at the same time. What is this? I am seen here and I am seen there. That is not a big deal. Now you are seeing me there. Somebody is seeing me in Chennai, somebody is seeing me in Madurai, somebody is seeing somewhere. So I am there everywhere. I am a Siddha too now. The problem is, these kind of things should not be of any value to us. If you give any value to these kind of accomplishments, get out. You are not qualified for Vedanta. Either you get these things out or you get out, because you are wasting your time. Therefore, what does he say? Aham brahmasmi. This aham sarvamiti, this sarvatma bhava means ekatma bhava. There is nothing other than self. That is the only experience which you can have. I am the self. That's all. I am over. I over. There is nothing other than I. Only when there is something other than I, you can see I am this, I am that, I am this, and etc. When there is nothing other than I, how can you experience yourself to be everything else? So, ityadi yad vishayam. So, what does it say? It says to the rishis, they become the self. Meaning, whoever it may be. It can be Among the humans, it can be a Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, or anyone who is not in this Varnashama scheme. Everyone gets liberated when he understands or she understands this. He or she, even that. All the clauses are removed here. If you understand this, then it is enough. So, for understanding the varied amount of purity needed is what is given in these classes, Brahmin, Kshatriya, Vaishya, etc. It is easier for, like they in the car race, they say pole one position, etc. Like that, you are in that front position to easily have a quick start. So, ityadi, or in the tennis they have wild card entry, you are given entry. Ityadi yad vishayam, this is the secret. Yad vishayam yad ashrayam ajnanam, tad vishaya tad ashraya pramana jnanat tan nivritti. Ignorance which has the substratum, which has this self as the substratum, which has this object, this self as the object. That ignorance can be removed only by the knowledge of that substratum and the knowledge of that object. See, the mother of pearl is veiled by the silver. Silver superimposition, ignorance. Silver ignorance. Silver ignorance covers the mother of silver. I have to have the knowledge of the substratum which this silver ignorance is covering, which is the mother of pearl. The mother of pearl, the knowledge of mother of pearl, which is the substratum and the object for the silver ignorance, removes the ignorance. That is what he says. Tad vishaya, tad ashraya. Tad vishaya, tad ashraya. That object and that substratum which is for the ignorance, jnana, pramana jnana. With the pramana jnana, not just any knowledge, meditating knowledge, yoga knowledge. No, not with any knowledge. Pramana jnana, and that pramana jnana can be gained only through the Vedanta jnana, and that Vedanta Mahavakya jnana can be gained only through the Guru Padesha. Okay, he's bringing all that through the Guru Padesha, through the teaching of the Guru, whatever Vedanta jnana, Vedanta Mahavakya jnana you are gaining, that knowledge generates this Akhandakara vritti, which is capable of negating all the other vrittis. All these whole world is a vritti. So, tan nivrittiriti nyaya prapta niyamam. So, this ignorance is negated by that knowledge. This is nyaya praptam. This is established in the Brahma Sutras. Therefore, iti niyamam darshayate. This rule is established here. Tatra ajnana of two types. One is the power of willing, the other is the power of projection. Ignorance is of two types. The power of willing and the power of projection. Okay? Now, the power of willing is of two types. Okay? That is what he is explaining. Ekam sato api asatva apadakam, anyatu bhato api abhana apadakam. Asatva apadakam, abhana apadakam are the two powers of power of willing. Asatva apadakam, though the self is of the nature of existence, it makes it non-existent. Though the self is of the nature of self-effulgence, this ignorance, the power of willing, makes it a non-illumining. Okay? So, it does not exist, it does not shine. This ignorance is the cause for these two knowledges, in quotes, knowledges. That's also erroneous knowledge. This erroneous knowledge is because of erroneous knowledge that the self does not exist, even if it exists, it does not shine. This kind of erroneous knowledge is because of the power of willing, the ignorance. Tatra adyam paroksha aparoksha sadharana pramana jnanam jnanamatra nivartate. How do I negate See, ignorance, I say, that itself is a big deal. In ignorance, there is one which is a power of feeling, the other is power of projection, avarana vikshepa. And even in the avarana, the power of feeling, you say there are two types. One is a asatvapadakam, the other is a abhanapadakam. One is a which that makes it the self non-existent, the other is which makes the self non-illumining. How do I get rid of this? First, let us see the non-existence. The non-existence can be removed. This erroneous knowledge of non-existence of self can be removed either by the immediate or immediate knowledge. It need not be immediate experience. It can be immediate experience or immediate experience. I tell you, the self exists. That is enough for you. Oh, Guruji told there is self. Is the case here? I want an experience. Itself an example, but anyway. Anumite parvate vanirnasti ityadi brahma adarshanath. In the inference, let us bring the inference. Fire in the mountain, run, run, run. There was a game which we used to play when we were kids. Fire in the mountain, run, run, run. But we didn't know that is a very important piece of knowledge for the inference. In the inference, this is the example we say. Parvato vanniman. The fire has, the mountain has fire. Dhumavat. How do you know that? Dhumavatvat. Because there is a smoke. Because of smoke, I infer that there is fire in the mountain. Okay, fine. So I inferred the fire in the mountain through the smoke. Now, do I have any doubt regarding the fire? No. Okay, I don't see any smoke. But a person who is climbing from the mountain top, he says there is a fire raging in the mountain. It just started. Now you don't see the smoke, but this person who speaks truth, he comes and tells you there is fire. Do you believe him? Yes, you believe him. You start immediately to take action to put off the fire. So you don't have the erroneous knowledge after either inferring it directly or through this person. This inferring is not direct knowledge, but the inference knowledge is direct knowledge. Similarly, this fellow who comes from the mountain, he tells you, you have not seen, he saw, but you believe him. That knowledge also dispels the erroneous knowledge. तथा सत्यम ज्ञानम अनंतम ब्रह्म अस्ति इति वाक्यात् परोक्षनिश्चयेपि ब्रह्म नास्ति इति भ्रमो निवर्तते एव. Therefore, the statement satyam jnanam anantam brahma, with this statement vakyat paroksha you have clear idea. Shruti says satyam jnanam anantam brahma. Brahman is existence, knowledge, bliss. There is no doubt about it. Therefore, brahma nasti iti brahmo nivartate. Brahman does not exist. This erroneous knowledge is immediately discarded because Shruti says Brahman exists. Kintu mama na bhati. But it does not shine for me. I don't see any Brahman. I don't have erroneous knowledge. Therefore, ekam ramajanakam dvitiyam abhana avaranam sakshatkara deva nivartate. This can be negated only through the immediate knowledge, immediate experience of self. Nothing short of immediate experience can negate this erroneous sakshatkara vedanta vakyeneva janyate nirvikalpaka ityadi advaita siddho anusandhiyam. And this sakshatkara, this is unattributed, understood through the Advaita Siddhi text. Again, this is all explained in detail in Advaita Siddhi. Knowledge of nishtha tatparayanaha gacchanti apunaravartim nishthaha tatparayanaha gacchanti apunaravartim jnana nirdhuta buddheha. Tat atmanaha, the people who have the clarity that that absolute self is my own inherent nature. Tannishtaha, people who are established absolute self, gachanti apunaravartim, they go, they attain a state, gachanti, they attain a state, they go normally here, they attain a state of apunaravartim, of a non-returning back. Who gain that? Jnana nirvita kalmashaha, knowledge, kalmashaha, the ignorance, the impurity. Impurity is ignorance. सर्व विषय परित्यागेन तस्मिन् ज्ञानपाशे परमात्मा तत्वे, when that knowledge illumines the absolute truth, सच्चिदानंद घन एव, I am that absolute self, बाह्य विषय